From the station working for you, this is Good Morning Indiana, streaming now.
And good morning here on this Wednesday. It is 4:27. I'm Lauren Casey, and joining me in studio today is Nicole Griffin. Nicole, it's great to have you here.
So happy to be here. Good morning, Lauren.
Yeah, we want to get to a few of our top stories today before we get into the show, starting with something a lot of people have on their minds right now, as many of our students and teachers are back in person learning in their classrooms. We want to make sure that everybody's safe and that the surfaces are sanitized. So how do they do that? Our own Alyssa Donovan is meeting with a cleaning company, giving us kind of an inside, behind the scenes look at how they keep the classrooms, those areas, the common spaces clean during the school day to keep your student, your child who's going back to school safe. So she's going to tell us a little bit more about what this guy is doing here, coming up here on Good Morning Indiana.
And also straight ahead on Good Morning Indiana, we know we are just about 2 months away from Hoosiers casting their ballots in the general election. So this morning, we're going to tell you all about a new organization that is focused on creating a more diverse and inclusive voter turnout. We'll tell you about the resources available with that group, and our Kelsey Anderson will be live breaking down all of that information coming up here on Good Morning Indiana. But now we want to get a first check of your forecast. Meteorologist Todd Klassen standing by. And Todd, on my way in this morning, the roads were a little wet. A little bit of light showers driving in.
Yeah, you know, and that's just going to kind of be the case throughout the entire day, Nicole. Good morning to you and everybody at home. We're not going to expect a lot of rainfall in the forecast today, but I do think we're just going to have these pesky showers that are just going to kind of linger off and on. Nothing heavy, not expecting any severe weather or anything like that. And you can see what Nicole was talking about on radar there in the center of your screen. There's just some light showers moving through across parts of the area. Temperatures are in the 70s. It's still pretty muggy out there this morning as well. So as we work our way throughout the day today, I don't know, it's one of those days where you need to take the umbrella with you wherever you go. If you have a rain jacket that's just kind of light that has a hood, I think you'll be probably in better shape, because overall we're looking at just mostly cloudy skies today, but there will be the opportunity again for these scattered rain showers to move through, and in southern locations later today, maybe a spot storm, but that's more of the exception than the rule. But we do have some changes heading our way for your Labor Day holiday weekend. We'll talk more about those for you coming up in just a few minutes.
All right, Todd, thanks so much. We do want to talk about a story that we have in our Rebound Indiana series. We know families with students that have special needs, they're trying to get them back to school safely, but they also need to make sure that they have all of the correct services to help them thrive. So our Kara Kenny is taking a look and seeing how the state and how local schools are working to help families right here in central Indiana. We'll have that story plus news, weather, and traffic coming up here on Good Morning Indiana.
From the station working for you, this is Good Morning Indiana, streaming now.
In just 2 months, Hoosiers will cast their vote in the general election. Now at 4:30, the organization making sure that Hoosier votes are counted.
It's been 1 year since the first Red Line bus picked up passengers. Working for you, we're looking at the lessons city leaders say they've learned from the project.
And health inspectors may not be able to send someone to your home if you have a problem. This morning, what they can do to keep you and your family safe. The time right now is 4:30 here on your Wednesday morning. Thanks for joining our team on Good Morning Indiana. I'm Lauren Casey.
And I'm Nicole Griffin. Meteorologist Todd Klassen standing by. And Todd, roads are a little wet this morning, so you might want to take a few extra minutes as you head out the door.
Yeah, you know, they could be a little slick in some spots. We haven't had a whole lot of rainfall in a while here across parts of central Indiana, at least. So, you know, we always talk about the oil builds up on the roadways, so there could definitely be a slick spot or two. As far as the intensity of the rainfall, I really don't think you have to worry about that all that much this morning. You may have to throw your windshield wipers on a few times here as you get going. We're just dealing with these light rain showers making their way through the area. And you can see on our satellite radar picture, the heaviest of the shower activity here this morning is down to the south as you get a little closer to Bloomington and now in towards the Greensburg area. The heaviest of the rainfall, we missed out on that. That's passing through Louisville right now. But there's a decent shower making its way through the Columbus area and much of Bartholomew County. And here's the bigger picture with that heavier band of rain moving through Kentucky. And off to our west, there's really not a whole lot. So today it's definitely just mostly cloudy than anything, but just know that there will be the possibility of these light showers almost at any point throughout the day. It's muggy out there still low with temperatures in the 70s. And here's how your morning plans out into the early afternoon hours. It's just going to be mostly cloudy, a little bit of patchy fog, but nothing like that dense fog that we saw yesterday. That's the good news. And as we get into the afternoon hours, a little better chance of some of those showers building back in. We'll talk about the afternoon and look ahead to the rest of the week as we get closer to Labor Day for you coming up in just a few minutes.
All right, Todd, thank you so much. Let's take a look right now at traffic down on the southwest side of town. This is our INDOT traffic camera at I-465 and Kentucky Avenue, where you can see everything on the interstate is traveling up to speed. Want you to keep in mind until today at 9 p.m. we do have the on-ramp closed from Kentucky Avenue to eastbound I-465. That's been about a week-long project, so again, that should be wrapping up this evening. It's all weather permitting, though. Keep that in mind as you're heading out the door on the southwest side for your morning commute. Let's take a turn to the northeast side at I-465, a view near Fall Creek Road where traffic is quiet. Everything's traveling up to speed.
And Lauren, the investigation into a deadly shooting on the city's northeast side continues this morning. The shooting happened on Priscilla Avenue near 30th and Arlington around 10:30 last night. Police say a man was shot and taken to the hospital where he later died. At this hour, Metro Police have not released what led to the gunfire. This morning, investigators are working to learn how a 2-year-old in Speedway was able to get out of his apartment and into a retention pond where he drowned. A sad update this morning. That boy was pulled from the water at Eagle Creek Court Apartments near 21st and Cunningham Road around 6 o'clock Tuesday evening. He was pronounced dead at Riley Hospital for Children. Officials say the boy's mother had been searching for her son. Investigators say the boy was in the water for about 20 minutes before being found. It's been 1 year since buses on Indigo's Red Line started connecting drivers from the University of Indianapolis to Broad Ripple, the first transit overhaul in decades, and new technology brought challenges to the system. You might remember WRTV Investigates uncovered charging problems with the Red Line's electric buses before the launch. Indigo President Inez Evans also points to problems with rubber medians, traffic ballards, and fare collection problems.
We took on new bus technology, the TVM machines where you get your fares, that was new. Signal preemption, that was new for us. All of these things laid on top. Nothing worked exactly as it was supposed to on day one, and some things we're still working through.
Evans says after a drop in ridership following the cold winter and the ongoing pandemic, the number of riders is once again increasing. Leaders say they are now looking forward to the purple and blue lines. And this morning you can find out how Indigo is already hiring for the services by downloading the WRTV app. The time right now is 4:34. In just 2 months, Hoosiers will cast their votes in the general election. This morning, an Indiana organization is focusing on creating a more diverse and inclusive voter turnout by letting Hoosiers know that their vote matters. Miles Trowell and Jalen Radminzinski has started Count Us Indiana, based out of Fort Wayne. The pair tells WRTV that they've run into problems when they've tried to vote in the past. Knowing others could face similar issues, they want people to know that Count Us Indiana can help voters get to the polls.
If people need resources to get their ID, if you can't afford printing or getting your official paperwork, any pro bono legal services, please feel free to reach out to us.
Well, every Tuesday from now until the general election, Count Us Indiana is partnering with the Indianapolis Public Library to hold virtual forums where they'll discuss a range of topics related to voting. To find out how to reach Count Us Indiana, you can download the WRTV app. This morning, the ACLU of Indiana wants those who have spent time in jail to know that they can vote. The Hoosier State is one of 16 states where people who have been previously incarcerated can vote. In Indiana, voters only lose their voting rights while they're in jail, and rights are returned immediately upon release. In Marion County alone, 35,000 voters have been released from jail or prison in the last 10 years. Now to the latest on the coronavirus pandemic and how it's impacting our state. This morning, state health officials report 721 new coronavirus cases. Since the pandemic began, nearly 95,000 Hoosiers have tested positive for the virus. Health officials also confirmed 16 more people have died with COVID-19. Since March, nearly 3,100 Hoosiers died with coronavirus.
Let's dig deeper now into the coronavirus deaths over the past 2 months. In July, 287 Hoosiers with coronavirus died. Last month, that number increased to 309. Recent coronavirus deaths in Indiana remain far below the level seen earlier in the outbreak when more than 1,000 people died in April.
At 4:36, another coronavirus vaccine is beginning its phase 3 clinical trials. That's the last stage before approval. AstraZeneca joins Pfizer and Moderna in the race to develop an effective COVID-19 vaccine. AstraZeneca says it is enrolling 30,000 Americans in the late-stage clinical trial and another 20,000 outside of the U.S. This approval process normally takes months, if not years, but the FDA Commissioner, Dr. Stephen Hahn, says that if there's enough data from phase 3 trials, early authorization could be possible.
Many renters in central Indiana are having problems with their apartments and rental homes, but you might have to wait if you want a health inspector to check it out. Tina Kimball found mold and water damage throughout her apartment. She says when she first called the health department, they told her they could not come out because of COVID. The department says while it is still taking complaints, inspectors are only being sent to indoor areas for urgent matters.
What do I do? Because you're the only guys that are going to be able to do anything.
The things that we identify as emergencies are going to be a lack of utilities if they have no running water or electricity, no hot water under some circumstances with children or elderly that need hot water. Those would be emergencies. The raw sewage backing up would be an emergency, and a lack of air conditioning under certain circumstances.
Well, the health department did end up sending an inspector out after Tina's water heater broke. They cited the landlord with 21 violations, including mold in several locations, cracks and holes in the walls, as well as a mice infestation. We reached out to the landlord and we are still waiting to hear back. The health department still wants concerned tenants to call. They may be able to do an in-person inspection at a later date.
At 4:38, landmarks that are once bustling around Indiana and across the country shining bright red lights last night. The Red Alert Initiative is highlighting the devastating impacts this pandemic is having on the live event industry. Many venues can't operate due to capacity limits and other COVID restrictions. Local organizer Robert Williams says that the situation is leaving many business owners, workers, and entertainers feeling hopeless.
Indiana, we've got over 40 venues in Indianapolis, Evansville, Terre Haute, Fort Wayne, South Bend. The event is to raise awareness to the fact that there's 10 to 12 million event workers in the United States, and most of those are out of work and will be out of work until events can return.
Organizers of this nationwide alert are calling on Congress to pass legislation to provide financial support to the event industry. Last week, Indianapolis announced funding grants for 17 live music venues across the city.
A different struggling industry is getting some help statewide. More than 1,000 child care providers in Indiana received funding from the Comeback Stronger Fund. And that includes East 10th United Methodist Children and Youth Center. The center serves families on the Near East Side of Indianapolis. It closed at the beginning of the pandemic and reopened in June. Added safety precautions led to added expenses. The grant money is helping cover those costs. The executive director says keeping the center's doors open is about serving parents and the community.
We have a lot of families that have essential jobs that are out there, home health care, those never ended. You know, if you're a manager at a gas station, you need to be there, you know. So we just really needed to open up for the families and also for the children to get them back into the swing of things.
Early Learning Indiana awarded around $13 million total to child care providers across the state.
Well, more than 187,000 Americans have died with the coronavirus, so still ahead the warning Dr. Anthony Fauci is issuing ahead of the holiday weekend.
And the pandemic has forced students and parents to work from home. Working for You, we're giving you tips to help you make it through the start of the school year. Todd.
And Nicole, there's not a lot of rain out there this morning, but it's a little damp in some areas where these scattered showers have been making their way through during the overnight hours. Nothing severe out there, and most of us are dry at the current hour, but there's more opportunities for rain as the day progresses. We'll talk about that and look ahead to Labor Day as well coming up in your WRTV Storm Team forecast. You're watching Good Morning Indiana. The time now is 4:41.
Welcome back. So we are just 48 hours away from the Labor Day holiday weekend, and it comes as the Midwest is seeing a surge in new coronavirus cases. ABC's Inez de la Cotera is in Washington now with the warning from national health leaders.
This morning, the nation's top doctors bracing for the holiday weekend.
Following the 4th of July, following Memorial Day, when people understandably get out in congregates, we've had surges.
Dr. Anthony Fauci urging Americans not to let Labor Day activities ruin the progress made fighting COVID-19, especially with flu season around the corner.
One thing you don't want is to play whack-a-mole as you go into the fall.
This as the president claims on Fox News that blue state governors are keeping their states closed so as to hurt him in the upcoming election.
If you look, Michigan is closed. All of these states that are closed, North Carolina is closed. These states that are closed are run by Democrats. And the reason they're closed is because we have an election on November 3rd.
With the president facing skepticism among voters that the federal government is not doing enough to address the crisis, the White House now considering launching a $250 million new public health campaign on the virus. This as Democratic nominee Joe Biden continues to blast the president's handling of the COVID-19 pandemic, telling our station WRTV.
The American people are looking for responsible leadership on COVID. They've shared sacrifice, missing weddings, funerals, family events, etc. They should expect the same responsibility coming from their president or a presidential candidate.
Meanwhile, the debate over when and how to reopen schools continues. In New York City, classes will now be delayed until September 21st to avoid a teacher's strike over COVID safety demands.
That has to be my first concern, is the safety of my son. That has to be. I have no other choice.
New York City schools now agreeing to randomly test students and staff each month. The federal government says they plan to ship 150 million rapid tests to states to be used in the reopening of schools. Inez de la Cotera, ABC News, Washington.
Inez, thank you. After dealing with a shortage at the height of the pandemic, the U.S. is now maxed out on ventilators. The Department of Health and Human Services is now canceling some of its remaining orders. There are 120,000 ventilators ready to be used if state and local health officials need them. As an added bonus, the canceled orders will also save taxpayers money. The HHS hasn't released an exact figure yet.
Well, this morning, the Golden Arches is facing a lawsuit from former restaurant operators. 52 former black operators filed the lawsuit against McDonald's, accusing that company of racial discrimination. The lawsuit says the company steered black-owned franchises into bad neighborhoods by providing misleading sales projections. The former owners operated more than 2,000 locations, and they're seeking $1 billion in damages. McDonald's denied the accusations and said it's ultimately up to the owners to determine the location of their restaurants.
Residents in the remote community of Egeagik in Alaska coming together to save the life of a child. The medical evacuation team was trying to land its plane only to find out the runway lights were not working. That's when dozens of residents brought their cars and four-wheelers to light the runway, making it safe for the plane to land. The child made it to the hospital in Anchorage and is in stable condition. Transportation officials say they've been having problems with the lights since February. It is 4:47. Let's get another check of your forecast with Todd. And Todd, it's pretty hot outside. We have some light showers across our area.
Yeah, you know, temperatures are sitting in the 70s. It's mild, it's muggy, and we do have those showers that you were mentioning, Nicole, moving through. It's nothing very heavy this morning, more of a nuisance than anything as you take to the roadways this morning. But unlike yesterday when we had that dense fog, we do not have that in the forecast here for today. Visibilities are reduced a little bit because of all the moisture that we have around there. And here's the view from downtown to the north, and you can see kind of those low, just hanging clouds out there that are present across central Indiana. But here's a live look at WRTV radar, and you can see that we're dealing with just some light showers moving through. The heaviest shower activity right now just passing through Columbus on its way towards Greensburg. A few more showers near Martinsville, and that is just about it. And the bulk of the heavier rainfall, not only today, but in the coming days, is going to stay just down to our south, as there's going to be a front that's going to really just be stalled all the way across the southern portion of central Indiana, and that's going to serve as the trigger mechanism for a lot of these showers. And depending on the placement of that front will determine who sees the most shower activity. But those of you in southern sections closer to that front, I think you have the best opportunity not only today, but in the coming days to see that rainfall. Here are your rain chances throughout the morning hours, and you see they decrease as we go forward. And so it's a very small chance of a couple showers here and there today that you'll see here on TrueCast. Don't bank on or think of today as a rainy day, because it's not. It might not be the brightest day for us with the overcast sky, but we're just dealing with a spot shower or two here or there as we work our way throughout the day, and most of it should just be very, very light if you see it at all. Temperatures in the 70s this morning, with the exception of a 68 there in Peru, 72 in Indy, 73 is the current temperature in Bloomington. This afternoon, we'll see temperatures climb up into the low 80s with just that stray shower chance. Otherwise, mostly cloudy skies. And then for the day tomorrow, we're looking at mostly cloudy skies with some sunshine mixing in across parts of the area during the day on a Thursday. But as we get into tomorrow, you can see that we do have that chance of that stray shower down to the south. And then as we work our way throughout the evening hours, this band of cloud cover and just a few spotty showers you see, that is a cold front that is going to come through. And that cold front is the one that is going to clear us out and set us up for a nice stretch of weather as we head into your Labor Day holiday. 77 on Friday with low humidity, 80 on Saturday, 83 on Sunday. All the days feature lots of sunshine. And then we settle into a cooler, unsettled weather pattern as we work our way into Monday, Tuesday, and into the middle of next week. Lauren?
All right, Todd, thanks so much. Let's take a look at traffic as you're heading out there on this Wednesday. Here's a live look on the east side at I-70, a view here near Sherman Drive, where traffic is moving along just fine, both eastbound and westbound. Keep in mind, if you're an east side driver, we still have ongoing road construction on the westbound lanes of I-70 at I-465 and Shadeland Avenue. That westbound I-70 to Shadeland Avenue ramp is closed until tomorrow at 5 p.m. for some road work, so just avoid that spot if you can. We'll continue to keep an eye out for any crashes and delays, and we'll keep you updated throughout the morning.
With school back in session, some moms and dads may be sharing their workspace with their students who are learning from home. The new arrangements are bound to create some stress. Experts at the Cleveland Clinic say it's important to set clear boundaries. One child psychologist says parents shouldn't feel bad about their productivity levels either. She says it can be hard to multitask with new demands, so be sure to take breaks when you are able to.
Have some forgiveness for yourself and be patient with yourself and your partner and your children, as these are all precedented times, and just try to find those moments of happiness to be with your family amongst the chaos.
When kids are learning remotely, Dr. Mudd says it is okay to let them sleep in. That way you'll have some time to work alone if you need to. A pup bites off more than he can chew and needs rescuing. Still ahead, what his owner says happened.
With the pandemic still impacting daily life here in the Hoosier State, cleanliness remains top of mind. Coming up, all new at 5, we'll show you the steps one company is taking to make sure that students and staff stay safe at Indiana schools. It is 4:52 here on our Wednesday. We'll be right back after this short break. So a pup in the UK needed a little rescue after a game of chase literally goes too far.
Come here! You're not supposed to be this far out! Come here!
Well, the pup was chasing seagulls into the surf when, according to his owner, he just kept going. The lifeboat of volunteers of the Royal National Lifeboat Institution quickly found the pooped out paddling pooch. Soaking wet spaniel got plenty of affection from the crew on board before being reunited with his grateful owner on the shore. Oh man, Todd, that is a cute dog. That's so silly. Just kept going and is probably like, whoa, I'm tired. Where's the edge of the water? Those spaniels, they like water, though.
They do. They absolutely do. And so good to see he's safe. All right, outside. We're dealing with a few spotty showers here this morning, and we'll deal with some spotty showers as we work our way throughout the day. But anything you see today is going to be very, very light. As we work our way into Thursday, a better chance of maybe a spot storm in the afternoon as a front goes through, but it's that front that ushers in beautiful weather for the holiday weekend, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and most of Labor Day as well. It's going to be nice, just a few spotty storms as we get into Labor Day itself, with those temperatures in the 70s and 80s. We'll be right back here on Good Morning Indiana. Stay with us. You're watching WRTV.